Hello, tea family, and welcome to our Sunday Live. I hope everybody had a fantastic week. We are back once again, so feel free to say hello in the chat. Let us know what you're drinking or what tea you had maybe earlier today, if you had any. And if you're drinking something else, that's okay. It could even be an adult beverage. So what I will say is always put that in the chat or in the comments, depending on which way you are seeing our live tonight. Tonight, I promised we were going to be talking about food and tea pairings, and so that is exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about some perfect tea pairings for popular summer dishes. And I picked the top 6 favorite summer dishes to kind of pair with. And so I figured I would say hello and we'll get started in just a second. Always want to give everybody a chance to catch up and like, oh, it's live. We're good. But, all right, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start the kettle. Today, I got jealous last week. Everybody that was on the live had a tea that had a cinnamon blend in it, except me. I was drinking a green tea last time. And so this time, I'm going to make my favorite serene sunrise. I need a comfort tea today. It's been a long weekend. It's been a very busy weekend. A great one, though. But got to have lunch with a friend and do some other things today. But I'm also using a teapot. This is a cast iron teapot with a ceramic insert inside. And right here, you're going to see serene sunrise, but it doesn't look like what you normally see because this has been brewed once. I always talk about multi-brews, and then usually on the lives, I go ahead and I do a fresh batch for everybody, but I thought today I would do it up. So this is serene sunrise. Hopefully you can see that because, again, everything is very covered up for me, so I'm kind of trying to cook. I have lots of notes because 6 dishes, that's a lot. Okay. Oh, I love that smell. The robust black tea and the cinnamon. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Can you see that? Handy dandy assistant, can you see that?
Yes.
Awesome. Versus, this is what it looks like on a second brew. Remember, or it'll look the same way on a third brew as well. But this is what I'm always telling people. Put it in a cup or a bowl. Put it aside in like a ramekin or on a plate. And then rebrew it. So tonight, I'm putting my mouth money where my mouth is. And I am not going to do any tea from here, because I have already brewed this once from this morning. So we're just going to heat up the water. Again, serene sunrise. This is a black tea from Sri Lanka and cinnamon. Now the cinnamon is just going to take smooth out some of the bold robustness of that black tea. Smooth it out. It is not overpowering in cinnamon. It's kind of funny. I have one friend who's like, there's not enough cinnamon, add more. You know, she would drink 100% cinnamon if you let her. And then other people who are on the other side, they're like, it's not overpowering in cinnamon. I like the fact that it's not so much cinnamon with a little black tea added to it. So it's kind of funny to see how different people react to different things. One of the things I do want to say is this is a teapot you don't see very often. This is really great for any time you want something really pretty and traditional, but might need to be a little hardier than something that is porcelain or china or something on that idea. But I thought it's perfect for today. Can't see if you can tell it has little flowers all over it.
Definitely both have
Starlight pear. So I picked green tea to drink last week. Everybody else picks a tea with cinnamon in it. This week I pick a tea with cinnamon and everybody's back to green tea. I love it. I love it. I am always out of sync here. That's okay. But I am glad you're here. Again, comments, anything like that, please feel free to put them in the chat or comments. And right now we're just waiting for this to boil up so that I can do my second brew, which reminds me, I should find my phone. So one of the things I always, and I may not even, oh, there it is. I always tell people for a black tea, your first brew is 3 minutes and your second brew is 4 minutes. So now I have to get my phone ready to do 4 minutes. But we will do that once it comes to a boil, which it should. It's funny, you start to see the bubbles come up. As you remember, we're probably at about 165 to 170 right now. Once they start to come up in a rolling boil, we'll be around 175 to 180, maybe even 190 when it's kind of a hard roll. But before we reach a rolling boil at 212. That is a secret little tip in case you ever do not have an opportunity. You're just heating water in a pan and you want to know if it's the right temperature for your tea. That's how you can tell. You love how mine always of a sudden gets really quiet and then it starts boiling. But come on, we're ready. So any questions? Anybody have anything? Any food that you want to have a tea paired with? Go ahead and put it in the chat or comments now so that we can make sure we add it. Like I said, I picked the top 6 foods that we I love. Stephanie's like, we have to keep you on your toes. Yes, you do, because goodness knows somebody's got to keep me in line someplace. But I did sneak a dessert in there because sometimes you don't feel like a heavy meal in the heat of summer, so there is a dessert in there. All right, we are almost at a full rolling boil. It's so weird to get this close to something that's literally boiling hot and not have to worry. So what I like about this teapot is I can push the handle down like that, so when I pour, I'm good to go. And there we are. Now, sometimes I get asked, do I let my tea, when it's in a pot, steep open or close? Because when I have it in a teacup, it steeps open. Typically, I will go ahead and close that. It'll keep the heat, and this is cast iron, so this pot will stay hot for a long period of time. This pot, this type of pot, the cast iron with the ceramic on the inside, is perfect if you're going to make a pot of tea and then you're not going to have another, like you'll have 1 cup and then 2-3 hours later you'll come back to it and you'll want another cup. The cast iron is able to keep it up, and if you put a tea cozy over it, it'll stay hotter even longer. And so it will not be cold like it is in so many other kinds of teapots if you walk away for a while. So
Stephanie's using big words like charcuterie.
Charcuterie, a light summer board. Yes, charcuterie. That is a great one, and we will tackle that right now while we're waiting. So what would I pair with a charcuterie board? I'm going to go with... I'm going to give you 2 choices. You know, sometimes I like to have that contrast, and sometimes I like to have something that complements. So I'm going to stick to, if your charcuterie board is mostly meats and cheeses and have some crackers or some other things, olives and pickles and things like that, I'm going to go with a black tea. Can't go wrong with a traditional breakfast blend or a morning Irish blend, or an Irish sunrise that has a little cinnamon in it. Those would all be really great to complement the sharp and full flavors of the meats. Now, if I was trying to complement, or that would complement it really well, it's going to have more spicy tea, more robust tea. Now, if I was trying to, instead of contrast it, more complement, I would go with a sweeter tea, which is where I would put like an afternoon delight, because a hibiscus black tea. You could even go with an oolong here, but as much as I like to contrast flavors, if I was doing a charcuterie board, I would probably go with like a morning Irish or a breakfast blend, and not even worry about the cinnamon or anything else. That is what I would put with it. And the cool thing about that is you could do it hot or cold, so it could be hot or iced. It's going to be a much more traditional, but that would be my favorite way to do that. Great question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and believe it or not, that was not one of the answers when I looked up the top 5 summer meals. I was kind of surprised because they're super popular right now. In fact, I've seen charcuterie boards that are not traditional charcuterie. They've done like a fruit charcuterie board, and I've seen them do like a s'mores charcuterie board. I even saw, okay, so I saw that this has nothing to do with tea, other than you could have tea with it, okay? But they had the board, like a charcuterie board, and they took frosting, you know, like icing for a cake or a cupcake, and they put it along and made a swirly line, and they put some sprinkles over it. And then on the board in the different places, they had cupcake tops. They had mini cupcakes of a different flavor. They had pretzels. They had cookies, like a couple of different kinds of cookies. And the idea was that people would take the cookie or the little mini cupcake or whatever, and they dip it into that icing that was right there. And you could add as little or as much icing as you wanted to it. And they had like one that was a white icing and one that was like a chocolate icing. And I was like, that is such a cool idea, like a dessert charcuterie board. Oh man.
Stephanie likes your pop.
Thank you. So what you don't see on my desk in the live is that there's literally paperwork all around it. So I'm always super extra careful about getting water places or tea places. And now, there we are. Serene sunrise. Now, if you look, you'll see serene sunrise here is a little lighter than the normal dark color. It's going to taste the exact same, but additional brews, tea is a little lighter. All right, ready?
Yay!
Tea is made. I have to let it cool a little bit before I try and sip on it, otherwise I'm going to burn my mouth. So, the most popular, or one of the 5 most popular meals during summer is a fresh green salad of some sort, whether it's just a traditional side salad with greens and cucumbers and potentially tomatoes, but usually with like a vinaigrette. Vinaigrettes are really popular. Balsamic vinaigrettes, strawberry vinaigrette, like a peach vinaigrette, like a very fruit vinaigrettes. They're very, very popular to have. This might even have some other things with it, like a grilled chicken or anything like that. So typically, if you're having salad for dinner, which my handy dandy assistant and I have had sometimes, we're not really starving, but we know we need to eat something, so we'll build up a salad, typically not just a straight salad. I'm going to suggest a just straight light green tea, like Emerald Garden, which is just the blend of green teas. The kind of herbal grassy notes of the green tea are going to match and complement the veggies, and then they would contrast also with the tangy vinaigrette that a lot of people put on their salads. Even in Italian dressing, it's going to be the same type of thing. Now, the other thing is the slight astringency of the green tea is going to help cleanse the palate. So if you were doing courses and you were having a salad course and you were going to have different teas with different course, the tea will help cleanse your palate for the next part of your meal. Now, sometimes we don't just have a salad. When Rich and I do a salad at night for supper, there's typically, we're going to add some cheese to it. We might add some roast beef if we have some leftover meats, or some grilled chicken or something on that idea. So we're going to make it a heartier, more like a chef salad type of thing. And so you might want to think about it a little differently. If we did that, a lot of times we'll add spinach to our salad, or we'll add like arugula or some kind of more spicier or savory items to the salad. And if that's the case, if I wanted to complement it, I would, or if I wanted to pick one, I'd want to complement it, or excuse me, contrast it as opposed to complement it, because I don't want to go all spice all the time, especially with a salad where it's lighter. That's where I would go with like a fruity tea, like Harmony, the strawberry orange green tea. If I just mixed in a bit of greens that had a bite to them, you know, you got to figure out, do I want to complement or do I want to contrast? That's where I might stick to the regular green tea of an emerald tea. But if I really wanted to, if I took a salad and I had, you know, the salad and I had chicken with it and it had some other fruits, I've already got some sweetness on the salad with the fruit. I know some people do apple and they do pineapple, or they do cranberries, strawberries, things like that. What I would recommend then is I would recommend going the slightly zingier tea. There's your hint, lemon zinger. And the reason why is you're going to want to have something to have just a little bit of a contrast so that it's not sweet on sweet on sweet. So salads are actually pretty complicated because it's not just what you have, that you have a salad. Salads are so different. I had a salad at lunch that was kind of a Southwest salad. It had grilled chicken. It wasn't spicy. I was actually anticipating it being a little spicier, but I would want, if I was having that where it was more mild, but it had grilled chicken and things like that, yeah, lemon zinger or something on that idea that's got a little more zest to it. But if I had a Southwest chicken salad that was actually really on the spicier side, then I'm going to hold back and go with more of a Harmony where I've got the sweetness in the tea. Or the peach tea that we have right now. So that would be kind of how I would do that. All right.
What about a maiden blush? Would that be good for that?
Maiden's blush. Yes. You could use the maiden's blush there, but I would hold on to maiden's blush, and I will talk about that one a little bit later.
All right.
So our second best tea pairing, or another tea pairing with a very popular summertime meal, is just straight grilled chicken. Now, it's not uncommon that you might have grilled chicken with a side salad, or grilled chicken with some steamed vegetables or raw vegetables. People have potato salad or that sort of thing, especially at like a barbecue. I would want to mix that grilled chicken with an oolong tea. Grilled chicken is just like a summer staple. You've got, when you do it on a grill, you've got some smokiness to it that adds a savory flavor to it. And it can really stand that extra layer. You don't need to stick with the green tea like you would in a salad. It can really hold up to a slightly heartier tea. I would go with, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to go a little out of season here, and I would say our holiday blend, which is an oolong cranberry, a cranberry oolong tea. That would be a really good one. Or even if you wanted to take a step further, you could go with like a morning Irish and have that straight, robust black tea blend. The idea is that you've got the rich, toasty flavors, but ideally I really love an oolong with like cranberry or a more tart berry to it to add that little bit of sweetness to it and get the smokiness of the chicken. They're really going to complement each other well. They're going to contrast enough, but now I'm hungry for some grilled chicken and oolong tea. There you go. That's what happens. So, what would we pair with barbecue ribs? I go into the grocery store now, and a lot of times my grocery store, they do a grill outside during the summer months, and they're out there grilling barbecue ribs. And I'm telling you, it smells amazing. I wish I wasn't allergic to the pork ribs, but it smells amazing, and they've got that sweet and savory smoky barbecue sauce that they put over it, and they literally cook it out there, and then you can buy it hot and then take it home. It's It's a great idea. It always smells amazing. It always makes you hungry when you walk into the grocery store, which we all know is the worst thing. But barbecue ribs is a really popular summertime meal. What would I pair with that? That one's an easy one. First of all, I'm not going with a hot tea here. You could go hot or cold on either one, but this one I really want an iced onyx chai. A black tea that has the cardamom and the cinnamon and the clove, because the spices in the barbecue sauce have been sweetened with sugar. But they're similar to the spices that you're going to get in a chai blend. And so they're going to have some complements and contrasts all at the same time. I would make some onyx chai tea. I would put that in my fridge the night before, and I would definitely want iced onyx chai while I'm eating my ribs. They would have to be beef ribs, but that's okay. This just, I can imagine, you know, I love the idea of the smoky and robust contrasting with the sweetness of the barbecue sauce. You're going to pick up way more spice notes, and it's not going to be as salty on your palate with the onyx chai tea. Okay, so we've had a salad, we've had grilled chicken, we've had some barbecue ribs. What are we going to eat next? So something that is fairly regional, and when I say that, I don't mean just one region of the U.S. There are a lot of people that eat this in different places, and then I have other people who've never heard of it before. But a watermelon salad. A watermelon salad is typically watermelon with some feta cheese, typically fresh feta cheese, and potentially some mint. The dish is all about bright, sweet, and savory flavors. So if I'm making a watermelon salad, which my eldest would not eat because for whatever reason, I don't understand what's wrong, but she doesn't like watermelon. I don't get it. But someday maybe, I mean, she's going to be 32 soon, but maybe someday she'll appreciate watermelon. I'm going to recommend a green tea to go with a watermelon salad. You've got the mint that's going to complement the mint in the watermelon salad. You've got the green tea. It's going to be subtle, it's kind of have an herby flair to it, which is going to really pair well with the watermelon and feta. This one is all about harmony and freshness. I don't want to go with the sweeter fruity tea on this one. I want to definitely go with the green mint and have it stand up. Now, I see there's some discussion about grilling watermelon and not grilling watermelon. I have actually had it both ways, and at different times I've enjoyed it both ways. So whether you grill your watermelon or not, I'm still going to recommend a green mint tea with a watermelon salad for summer as a wonderful pairing for you to try.
Diane doesn't like anything with watermelon.
Diane likes watermelon, but nothing in it. I get it. Diane, we can't even get our eldest to eat watermelon. I don't know where we went wrong. I felt like we were decent parents, you know, made some mistakes, but apparently we made a big one because she doesn't like watermelon. Never has.
Freeze-dried watermelon is good.
Freeze-dried watermelon is amazing. Yes, I've had watermelon with a light char on it, and it brings a smokiness against the sweetness in the watermelon salad, and then you add the feta in, and it's actually amazing. So, all right, you ready for the next one?
Yay!
So, what would go better in summer than some kind of seafood? Now, not just seafood from the ocean, but people tend to eat a lot of fish over the summer because some people go fishing, although others go catching, but that's a little joke between us. But, you know, it's not uncommon for people to go and eat shrimp and lobster and shellfish and sort of things like that. And you're going to want a tea that can match and not overpower your seafood, because seafood should not be overpowering when it's just that. Oh, that's so good. No sweetness, no creams, just a straight serene sunrise. Delicious. So for seafood, I would go with an Emerald Garden tea. And I want that just straight green tea blend, but I really want it because it also has a jasmine green in it. And that adds a floral aroma. It adds a lightness, a sweetness to the flavor that's going to complement the flavors of the seafood. It's going to enhance it without overpowering it. Now, not everybody has like the white fish or the straight fish with like some butter or garlic or something that on it. Some people, especially where we used to live and hang out in Savannah, they do a lot of low country boils. So you're going to have everything in there, crayfish, crawfish, depending on how you say that. They could have shrimp, sausage, corn. There's a whole bunch. Potatoes that went into that low country boil. And we've gone to many a low country boil. There's some spice that goes to that though. And so you're not going to want to just sit back and have a very light and slightly flowery or slightly floral jasmine tea with that. You're going to want to go a little step deeper, and this is where I'm going to recommend a green tea still, but I'm going to recommend like a lemon zinger, because lemon and fish or lemon and seafood already go together very, very well. And when you add the zinger, the ginger and everything like that, you're matching kind of the super bold with a somewhat bold to complement the flavor. So the seafood or fish of any kind, I'm going to say you're going to want like a lighter green tea, not anything too fruity or anything like that. Unless you're doing it in some kind of Creole spice or a low country boil or anything like that, then you're going to want to go with something more like a lemon zinger that's going to be able to stand up to the heartier, spicier blend. Okay, now that we've made everybody completely hungry by talking about food this entire time, I got one more thing for you. Dessert. So, teas and desserts can be as wildly diverse as foods and dessert. There are so many things. Chocolate, you're going to want one thing. Berries, you're going to want something else. A pie, a cake. There are so many options. But I kept it to the most popular summer items. And one of the most popular summer desserts, other than s'mores, is berries. A lot of people will have a berry tart. Some people will have a berry salad. They'll have a bowl of berries and fruit. They want strawberry shortcake type of things where they're putting berries over like a yellow or a white cake type of thing. So you want a nice relaxing tea with that. And what I would recommend is actually our afternoon delight. It's a hibiscus tea. It's going to have kind of a fruity flavor, but remember, hibiscus is considered the cranberry of the flower family, so it adds a little tartness. It's gonna, the sweetness is kind of mirroring the berries, but the tartness of the hibiscus is going to complement them or contrast with them and give a slightly tangy contrast. The other thing is when you've got a beautiful bowl of berries or you have berries on your plate next to you, that purplish, gorgeous color that you get when you've brewed up afternoon delight, whether hot or cold, is really going to look amazing, especially if you add like a couple of mint leaves over it. I'm telling you, it is just going to look amazing on the plate as well as taste delicious. So those are my top pairings. Anybody else have any other pairings they want me to come up with?
What about harmony? Would that be good with fruit?
Okay, I would not go with harmony with fruit because harmony is it's a very light, delicate tea. You get the green tea, then you get the strawberry flavor, and then you end with a little bit of that orange zest on the end. But it is a very, very light flavor. That's the one thing people tell us when they try it at events and things like that is, oh my gosh, that's so light, and it's very refreshing. But it's not going to stand up, and it would be too much sweetness if you paired it with other berries. When I paired Harmony with a food that has berries in it, is traditionally been a red berry cereal that I now make from scratch myself so that it doesn't have all the other ick in it. And those strawberries, for them, and the mass strawberries are often dipped in like a lemon juice or ascorbic acid so that they don't discolor and things like that. So you kind of have almost like a lemony, citrusy flavor to them. And then the Harmony tea brings out more of the strawberry in the berry because it's a complementary flavor. That one's not so bad, but I wouldn't stand up to it with like a berry dessert because it would be too sweet on sweet and you would lose some of it. But I did say, like, you know, if you had a spicier salad, something that's got like, you know, arugula and some other more tart or savory type greens or items in it, that's when you would want to put it in there to kind of contrast. Good question. Other questions? Other things you want me to pair? Just go ahead and put it in the comments in the chat. I'm going to try and give everybody a second to do that. And while I'm giving you a second to do that, let me chat really quickly about the giveaway. So we are going to be doing a giveaway, and we're going to keep it really, really simple. It will start on August 1st, and it will last, I want to say it's going to be 10 days. And so what I'm going to give away is a really cool thing. It'll have a cup. It'll have one of our peach teas. What can we call that? I can't remember the name of it right now. Summer Kiss tea in it, and it will have a Harmony tea in it, and we haven't decided. I think it'll have a breakfast blend in it, so there'll be kind of 3 of those teas. We may, instead of the Harmony tea, we might go with, we have enough to make up a 1-pack left of the Starlight Pear, so that might go in there instead. But there's going to be tea in there, there's going to be a cup in there, and then there's going to be a pouch or a carrier, like a little bag that I am going to personally sew and embroider, and we're going to give that away. No cost to anybody, but what they'll have to do is they will have to give their email to sign up for that. And so that will be announced officially. You all know it's coming, so if you want to go in, you're prepared for August 1st for it to open. I am hoping, I'm not holding out a lot of hope though, I'm just gonna let you know. I'm hoping by next Sunday I should have finished sewing the bag, or at least have enough of it for you to be able to see. And then the other thing is, the end of August, we are going to be having a live sale, and we are going to be giving away a really amazing tea set. In fact, handy dandy assistant, that English bone china, if you want to grab a piece and hand it over.
Set of 3?
No, not that one. Not the blue one, not the Dutch one. It came in the box. Got it at the same place.
The blue ones? The white?
It's brown. It's brown. It's the new one we just bought. Anyway, just a little technical difficulties for everybody. But see if we can get a sample. Do you know what I'm talking about yet? No, he probably doesn't know what I'm talking about. All I can tell you is it's in a brown box.
Brown box.
We haven't washed it yet, but we found it, and it is English bone china, and it's a whole set. But that'll be one of the things with some tea with it that'll be going in there. And then we will be getting ready for fall and Christmas things, so we are preparing to update what we're, yes. So this is one of the things it'll have in it.
Don't forget the creamer and the sugar.
And it has like a creamer and a sugar dish and everything like that. So yes, this is what it would have in there. It's just super cute. It is, yeah, I can't even read that. But anyway, so it's got all the markings and everything on the back, but it is really, really nice set. And that is one of the things that'll be in the giveaway the end of August. All right, I didn't see any other questions come up. Does anybody have any other questions? Awesome. Okay, I will say that, and I will see you all next week. Next week, we are going to do something just slightly different. We are going to be looking at how we blend and come up with some of our blends. In fact, one of the things that we're going to be doing is we are going to create a blend next Sunday together, and then I'll send it out to tasters and everything like that. And that is one of the teas that will be available only in the live sale. But we're going to kind of create that tea together. It's going to be much more interactive because I'm going to say, here's what I have for ingredients, and go, and we're going to come up with it together so that you guys kind of learn how to make a tea and a tea blend and kind of what we do here. And we won't be able to go in and taste everyone. We'll be able to kind of give it a smell, and I'll make suggestions on why we might want to go one way or another, or if we want it to be more like this, do this. If we want it more like that, we'll do this. But that's what we're going to do, is we're going to create a custom Sunday Live tea blend next week. So hopefully you'll be able to join me. And I don't see any questions, so I'm going to say have a great night.
Pickles and blueberry tea.
Great seeing you all. It will not be pickles and blueberry tea, but we'll see y'all later.